guys, what's going on? Welcome. Happy Monday. Hope you're having a blessed up Monday. And if you're not, I know that today's live stream is going to give you clarity. Today we're going to be talking about how to efficiently prioritize your business, life, and relationships. This is one of the major things that I get to work on with my clients when it comes to just prioritizing. And you could often feel like everything is important and it's important right now and everything needs to get done, but that can also lead to nothing getting done efficiently and with impact, and you actually getting on the other side of what your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations are, the things that God has intentionally planted inside of your mind and inside of your heart. So let's dive into that, shall we? Today, Camper Pod is I did a post on my threads at Tanya C. Oliver called Minding My Matter. This was a huge impact when I was doing a lot of work with Dr. Joe Dispenza about 3-ish years ago. And what I wanted to interpret it on this is I understand my inner world impacts my outer world. I also understand I can only grow to the capacity of my ecosystem, meaning my environment. And there's a story that I learned when I did like one of these webinars is that you can, if a shark is placed inside of a fish tank, or it can only grow to like maybe, I think it was like 5 inches or something like that. And then if you take that same shark and you place it inside of the ocean, which a larger ecosystem with no low cap or ceiling, it can grow up to 5 feet. So I was like, wow, that's really, really impactful. And the analogy that they had gave on that is that that's really how our mind is. So when you create a ceiling for yourself, or you create this like cell space, because just because you're technically free, you can create a very luxurious prison for yourself. I see it happen all the time where the outer world looks up glam, amazing, luxurious, smiles, popping bottles, you name it. But the inner world is completely disconnected and suffering and feeling like a prisoner taken captive towards the environment that you've worked so hard for. Now, I thought that was really powerful, so I want to share that analogy. So in my environment, so I want you to ask you a question. How is the soil in my environment? Is the soil in my environment, in my ecosystem, the people, places, and things, in harmony with what my goals are and what I'm trying to do within like my inner world? And so if you kind of give that a rating, I would just say like 1 through 10, and you can drop a comment below, or if you don't want anybody knowing your business, you can let me know privately. 1 through 10, would you rate your soil, your ecosystem, your environment? Is it a liability to you, or is it more of an asset to you? Because you can only grow to the capacity of your environment. You can do all the growth work you want, but if your environment is not being shapeshift and in harmony with it as you're like cleaning up and doing the inner work, you're never going to grow into your full potential. You're not going to ever look your best, you're never going to feel your best, and you're never going to be able to show up in your business, your life, and your relationships as your best self. There's a part inside of yoga where they talk a lot about attachments, and I wanted to cover this too because when you are, and also what I mean about environments is like the activities, the hobbies, are they supporting your goals? Are they supporting and expanding your goals so that you feel supported when you're feeling in moments of weakness? Do you have spaces that you can go to when you need a healthy timeout, when you need to call like, hey, I got to call the shots. I'm feeling super weak. I'm feeling completely disconnected. I feel like I'm yellow lighting. Things are getting really heavy for me right now, or I just got some really bad news and I need a healthy timeout. Are those places that you're going to, are they pouring life back into you? Are they strengthening your pulse? Or are they depleting your pulse? Are they making feel you washed up, beat down? Do you feel worse than when you first walked in? These are questions that you have to have in an honest conversation if you truly want to like unlock the key to your own prison cell that you created within your life, or even your business. You could create an amazing business and be captive towards your business and the reason why you're working so hard. So in this segment of yoga, we're like in this V position towards the end of the day. If you've ever done abs, or like I'm gonna do abs, and you're trying to do abs and you're doing like these V-ups, I can't show you because I'm like sitting in this chair, but you're doing these V-ups, and there's a part where you're holding your hands open. And your hands are being held open because when the hands are open, it's a segment of receivership. And then in order to cross the other side, you have to be able to let go and give up all of the attachments that are holding you down. And that's a whole analogy in life. You're working so hard, you're doing so much work to create this identity and to build this whatever you're building, and then you don't realize sometimes that what you think you've wanted is not fulfilling in your spirit. It's not serving you it's not resonating in your life force. And you don't realize that until you actually get to the other side, because knowledge can only stem from experience. So the beautiful thing about life is we have so many opportunities. The challenge with life is we have so many opportunities and it's very little leadership, like true leadership. And so that's where there's times where you really want to hone in and claim personal responsibility for, I'm going to learn to trust myself. I'm going to learn to tune inward so I can decide what is right now in this season of my life. And I'm going to learn how to maximize the capacity of what I'm striving for with my goals and my visions, and staying in my lane and minding to my business so that I can really expand this, and then others creating a lane so that others can then join in and have this lane. And that's really what leadership is. Leadership is like, I'm taking personal responsibility. I'm going to reclaim my personal power, and I'm going to do this on my terms with integrity and without compromising myself, my peace, my health, and my heart. And inside this segment, so attachment to who you've worked so hard to label and identify yourself as if it's not in harmony with your truth. The one thing in A Course in Miracles, they say truth cannot be learned, it can only be recognized. And that's why when we teach our mind to become obedient to our heart, we get to tune in to what your truth is. Truth is universal, but I do believe that we have our own truths in different seasons of our life, of the journey that we need to go into, and how we have to change in order for our circumstances to change. So I'm going to say that again. How do I have to change in order for my circumstances to change? Because my circumstances are not going to change until I do some vibrational cleanup, some physical cleanup, some mental cleanup, some emotional cleanup to gain my mental strength, my emotional stability, my physical health, so I can keep up with my dreams and my goals and the people and places and things that add value to my life. But if you continue to ignore this, it's like a Jenga game. So have you guys ever seen like the Jenga, you know what I'm talking about, the Jenga, I talk about this a lot, or if you're a builder and you're in real estate, we've got in Miami all these sky rises being built up. Actually, the building next to us, they kicked everybody out. And so now for probably the next year that I'm here, the building is going to be completely renovated and just like destroyed. I mean, yesterday the power lines went out. They like dropped something and the power lines exploded and the wire was inside of on the ground. And I literally just walked into the building. So it was pretty dangerous. They had like cop cars around surrounding it to protect the perimeters. And think of it as like, things are when you're trying to renovate. So if you're renovating your life, it's going to look ugly until it looks glamorous and beautiful. And what's going on is things are being ripped out from the inside. And I'm being very dramatic right now. But if you think about the very bottom of the building, if that building did not have a solid framework and they weren't renovating it and doing it to make sure that it's on point. So this building doesn't happen what happened to that building in Miami about a few years ago, where the whole building collapsed on the people and a lot of lives were lost that day, was something that could have been prevented. And that was a malpractice because people were being lazy, or that thing of like, I'll do it later. It's not important right now. This isn't something that we're going to prioritize. And I want you to think about that in your life, where you know that something is important, but you're not prioritizing it. And let me leave you with something right here. Typically in your life, you're going to prioritize what you value. And you're going to value what you believe. Remember, belief and truth are not the same, but you're going to prioritize what you believe to be important. So you're going to prioritize those things. And so I want to ask you this question, and I would like for you to be honest. You don't have to answer to me, but I would love for you to answer to yourself. Because before self-awareness comes self-honesty. And what I realized doing a lot of this work and teaching this work and even practicing this work within myself is that a lot of times we're not honest with ourselves because the conversations that need to have been had are typically too painful that we don't think we're capable of dealing with. And that's why having somebody there to help support you to overcome the things so that you can get on the other side is so critical. We're not designed to do things alone. The greatest of the greatest have never done things alone. They've always had people as part of their lineup that are capable and willing. Because let me say, capable being, just because somebody's willing does not mean that they're capable. Just because somebody is willing to help you does not mean they're capable to be able to support you. So when you're bringing people in to be a part of your lineup, you want to make sure that not only are they capable, but they're also willing. And just because somebody is capable doesn't mean they're willing. You don't know what people are going through in their life. Maybe they're battling their own stuff or they're working on their own stuff and they're just not willing because they're focused on their priorities. And their priorities goes back into we prioritize what we value and we value what we believe to be important. So if you continue to ignore these things, it becomes like that sky rise, and then eventually you have all these check boxes in your life and the outer world looks amazing and glamorous, and then what happens is you can just feel completely depleted on the inside. And there's a story that I read in the Yoga Sutra where they were talking about a lot of times we can be prisoners and have access to our own key, but we're never unlocking ourselves free of it. And the reason why we don't unlock ourselves free of it with the self-sabotage and actually prioritizing the things that we know to be important, maybe that's your health that you're putting on the back burner. Maybe that's your relationship that you're putting on the back burner. Maybe it's the ability to have an experience of what it feels like to feel joy for the first time of your life. And maybe it's the experience of what it feels like to feel healthy or to feel a peace of mind or to know what it feels like to be in flow and to be in alignment versus a hustle survival. Maybe it's the first time of knowing what it might feel like to feel like you're thriving, like from the inside, and what it feels like to feel successful from the outer world and the inner world and feel like everything is in harmony and in alignment. And a lot of times when we have these keys, it can look a lot different for a lot of people. And there's things that will block your blessings, and that comes down to disbelief or not feeling that you're worthy, which is like that belief segment, fear, and then resentment. Maybe there's something in your life or person in your life that resenting that you're not forgiving. Maybe you resent yourself for something that you've done in your past and you haven't forgiven that version of you. That is what's keeping you chained down. And you can only move forward at the speed at which you've forgiven your past. And you can build anew and you can start over and you can start to live life intentionally. And I want to say this because I feel like a lot of people need to hear this message right now. So you can have it all. I'm here to say that. And you can have the inner world and you can have the outer world. And here's the thing is sometimes the inner world cleanup stuff might take years. And you don't have proof or validation that based on societal standards of what is measured as success just means I have what I want. I got what I want. So what do you really want? We set these external goals because we believe it's going to get us to feel valued, to feel heard, to feel wanted, to feel feeling. But the reason why we set those external goals is because we believe that they're going to bring us joy or happiness or freedom. And so how can you bring those things into your season right now without having to wait, without having to create that external check mark, because sometimes it's going to take years, and that's years of you depriving yourself of experiencing peace, of experiencing a regulated nervous system, of experiencing joy, of experiencing quality relationships, of experiencing support and growth, and what it feels like to feel healthy and to feel happy, maybe for the first time in your life. Maybe, I don't know if that's a distant memory for you. And so we prioritize what we value, and then I want to end with this. We value what we believe to be important. So what is right now for you? Just do a quick summary of this. We're only going to grow to the capacity of your environment. So where in your environment needs to be some cleaning up, some pruning? How's the soil in your ecosystem, 1 through 10? Meaning your home, the places that you go to for support in moments where you're feeling triggered, or you're feeling low, or you're feeling that you need like a healthy timeout. And then what is right now, and how can you maximize the season that you're in right now and utilize the things that you do have? What do I have? What can I do? A lot of times we're like, I don't have the resources. I don't have the loan money. I don't have this. Well, what do you have? You have the internet. Okay, well, I haven't gotten approved to get on a stage to speak. Okay, you have a social platform. Start to practice. Start to serve. Start to pour into people. Start to build into people. Because business is about people. Business is about giving people what they want and getting people on the other side. And in return, you're going to get what you want. But here's some things with integrity. Okay, so do things with integrity and never compromise. I have 3 golden rules I share it all the time. I never let business or relationships compromise my peace, my health, and my heart. Those are the things that I have identified to be important, because I know I'm important, because I know that every single thing in my life is just an extension to the capacity and the quality of who I am as a human being. And then I prioritize it. I make sure that those are my top core pillars in everything. It's my mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual health. I have my daily methods of operation to make sure that every single day I'm charged up. In days that I'm yellow lighting, I have resources, people, places, and things that I know to get me charged up back into the green, back into thriving as fast as possible without ever having to worry about getting to the red. Sometimes life is going to give you the red, but a lot of times we can prevent ourselves from getting into the red. And that's the moments of listening where we have to pull back in order to be able to sprint forward. And something that I've learned is that in moments where I don't listen to that thing, I'll always end up getting sick. That's why I never get sick, because I know that I'll just go charge myself, I'll ground myself, I'll go to the beach, I'll go to yoga. I take breaks within the day to recenter myself so that I can give you the best of me versus a sloppy, half-assed version of me when I know that I could have done better. What areas in your life do you know are important, yet you're not valuing them? And I want to end with that. And then I hope today's live stream served you. And there's just a lot to cover. This actually, I got this information through a meditation that I had done. And that's why I can't emphasize enough the importance of taking care of the physical space and having your daily methods of operation, because you're going to get so much wisdom and so much insight and so much clarity on knowing that you're in alignment and you're in the right lane and you're doing things that are just living life intentionally. I think that's the biggest thing is living life intentionally and living to the full capacity of where you're at in the now. All right, guys, I hope you have a blessed up day. I would love to know we covered a lot today, but I would love to know one of the core diamonds that I dropped on you today that you're going to integrate into your business, your life, and your relationships. In the meantime, I'll talk to you guys later. If you ever need to schedule a strategy call, we're still doing those 30-minute strategy calls. You can send me a message and I'll be happy to schedule you something to point you in the right direction. All right, guys, have a blessed up day. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, and I'll see you later. Bye.